What's up guys, Andrew Baena here, and it's that time of the year for every YouTuber ever to do their top albums of the year, and this is my video of that. So if you are looking for metal in the sense of the traditional like death metal, thrash metal, stuff like that, that's probably not what you're gonna find on this list. Actually, that's definitely not what you're gonna find on this list. I do things more in the vein of gent, deathcore, and metalcore. So if you're looking for the other types of metal, you probably are not gonna like this list. But if you stick around, I promise you will find some great music that you might not have heard of before. Before we move on to the list, I do want to mention that you might have noticed I'm in front of a bunch of gaming paraphernalia and collectibles behind me, and that is because I started a second channel which is about video games and gaming news. So if you're interested in gaming news at all, definitely go check out my second channel. I'm also currently running a giveaway where you can win a $50 gift card to Steam simply for subscribing to my channel. It's open internationally. There's going to be a link in the description and the pinned comment below, so go check out my second channel. Alright, with that out of the way, let's move on to the first band on my list. The first band is Spiritbox. If you've been watching my channel, you've probably heard of them before because I've been repping them very hard since they first announced the project back in, I think, 2017. But regardless, they're one of my favorite bands of all time, at least in the past 5 years, I would say. And they released a EP this year, which is called Singles Collection. So it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically an EP, which is just a collection of the singles they've released throughout the year. My personal favorite off of this EP is the song Perennial, which was released actually in 2018 technically, but we're just gonna let that slide and keep it in here anyways. If you've never heard of Spiritbox before, they're, I guess, basically a gent slash metalcore band. Lots of low-tuned guitars with really cool ambient overtones. I have a really close personal connection to this band, and I've gotten to hear a lot of these songs as demos before the final product, just because, you know, when Bill is cutting my hair, he'll like show me a demo on his phone. So it's always really cool to have that like behind the scenes look and then hear and see the final product when they release a music video. So very proud of these guys. They're actually going to be touring with After the Burial. So if you're in Europe and want to go check them out live, definitely go do that. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Here's a little clip of what Spiritbox sounds like. If you want to hear more of them, definitely go check them out. This is a clip of their song called Perennial. Next up on my list is a band called Humanity's Last Breath. They've been around for a little while, and I've been following them since their first full-length album, which was, I think, around 2014, 2015, and I've always been very interested in them. Basically, they're the perfect combination of ridiculous low tunings with ridiculously high, evil, ambient, dissonant noises, and in fact, one of the founding members, or actually the founding member of the band, Buster, is also a member of the band Viljarda, who are another amazing band that I highly suggest you go check out. They have a new album coming out in 2020, side note. This isn't my favorite release they've ever done, but it's still really strong. I think that their last EP is still my favorite thing they've ever done, but their new album, which is titled Abyssal, was also really good. The standout song from this is still the first single in my opinion, which is Abyssal Mouth. It is absolutely fantastic and crushing. It has this perfect blend of super low notes followed by super, super high dissonant leads, I guess you would call it, and you know, just that contrast of a super low and a super high note. No matter what band does it, it always sounds good, and I am a huge sucker for that, and that is totally Humanity's Last Breath's specialty. There are a bunch of other really great songs on this album, such as Bursting Bowel of Tellus and Fradga are two of my other favorites, so if you're interested in hearing more Humanity's Last Breath, definitely go check them out, but this is a really quick sample of what they sound like. Okay, next up on my list is a band called Brand of Sacrifice. This band is from Canada, so shout out to them for being Canadian. Always cool to see Canadian metal bands up and coming. They haven't really been around for that long, but they have already been making a huge impact on the deathcore scene. They just did a tour in the summer with my friends over in Angel Maker, and everything that Angel Maker has told me about them has been extremely positive. Apparently they absolutely kill it live, so hopefully they come towards Vancouver sometime soon so I can check them out. You might have heard of a band in the past called The After Image, which was not deathcore at all. It was actually, I would say, pretty much a gent band, and this is actually all of the members of The After Image. They decided to end The After Image and start a new band, which is Brand of Sacrifice. Now, Brand of Sacrifice, all of their lyrical themes are actually based off of an anime slash manga, which is called Berserk. I didn't know this, I already listened to this band, but once I found this out, I actually went and watched all of the Berserk anime just because I loved this release and this band so much. Their newest album is called God Hand. It came out earlier this year, I think around the summertime, and it is some of the best deathcore I've ever heard. It's, you know, super low-tuned, grimy, disgusting vocals. Kyle, who's their vocalist, is just an absolute beast. My personal favorite song from God Hand is called Divinity, and it sounds something like this. Next up on my list is a band that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of before, and they are called Issues. Issues has been around for a really long time, and they're very well known in the metalcore scene. However, I never really liked them for some reason. Something about them just didn't really click for me. I had checked them out in the past when they released their first album or two, and it just wasn't really doing anything for me. But then they released a new album this year, and since I had never really liked them before, I kind of didn't really pay any attention to it. But then, of course, my longtime collaborator and close friend Johnny told me that I should listen to it, and I trust his opinion because he obviously knows my music taste better than anyone else. So I gave it a listen to, and I was absolutely mind blown. It is not what I was expecting at all based on what I had originally heard from Issues when they were starting out. It's completely different. It almost is like a gent boy band. I think that's even how they describe themselves on Twitter, which is kind of hilarious, but also pretty accurate. So they have this really interesting way of writing very genty instrumental songs, but then they have this super poppy vocals that go over top of it in a really unexpected way. Like, if you listen to the instrumentals by themselves, I would never have imagined that the vocals that Tyler Carter does would fit over top of that, but somehow he makes it work and it sounds super cool and very unique. So if you are interested in gent that has, you know, basically boy band pop vocals, definitely go check out Issues. Their album is called Beautiful Oblivion. It just came out a month or two ago, and I have been pretty much listening to it nonstop. There are so many good songs on this album, but I think my absolute favorite is Drink About It, and it sounds something like this. All right, and number one on my list for the year, should be no surprise, it is Dealer from Australia. Dealer is a band that seemingly came out of nowhere. They only have a 5-song EP, but that 5-song EP, all 5 of those songs were within my top 10 most played songs of the year because I love this EP so much. The EP is called Soulburn. Literally every song is amazing, so it's hard to pick a favorite, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Crooked just because it's the first song they ever released and it's still the one that I probably listen to the most. They tune super low. I think they're in like drop F on guitars, and I don't know, man, there's something about them that is just so ignorantly heavy. It's not the most complicated music in the world. It just goes really hard, and every time I listen to it, I can't help but headbang and scream along to the words. Absolutely love this band. They're doing their first ever US tour in 2020, and I'm going to be trying to make a road trip from Vancouver to Seattle to go see basically just them because I really need to see this band live, and I have no idea if they'll ever come to Canada, so it's worth going to check them out. So if you're in the US, definitely go check out this band if you like how they sound. Once again, this band is called Dealer, and this song is called Crooked. It sounds like this. Alright guys, that'll do it for my top 5 albums of 2019. It's been a crazy year for new music. There's so many other releases that I would have loved to put on here, but I tried to keep it tight and concise. If you're interested in listening to any of these bands, definitely go check them out. I'm going to leave a link to my Spotify playlist with all of their music in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite heavy/metal album of 2019 was. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.